Of taming sibling rivalry. And in this segment, I want to talk about setting limits playfully. This can get you out of the stern adult role that we all are so familiar with because our parents used it with us. It gets you out of scolding, it gets you out of just kind of clunking along as a serious adult, always having to set limits, always having to be serious about every behavior. When you can be playful in response to a child's off-track behavior, it relieves the child of so much worry about whether you're ever going to love them again. And it tends to lift the whole household. It's like when there's laughter going on in the family, everybody feels hopeful. Everybody feels like, wow, something really new and good is happening here. So it's a skill well worth learning. In order to intervene playfully, you probably are going to have to work on your irritations with your children. It's something that you bring to your listening partnership. I can't stand that kid when he gets this way. It reminds me of my older brother, and oh my gosh, I never got relief from that guy. So you get to work on feelings you have, where those might come from. You get to show somebody all of the irritation that you have, so that the next time your child does this very irritating thing, you're not immediately driven out of your mind by his tone of voice or the look on his face or by feeling so worried about the child who he's victimizing. So you want to get yourself out of reactive mode by using listening partnerships, and then you'll be in shape to intervene playfully. Actually, it will help you also feel like your creativity as a human being and as a parent is rising daily. It's a very creative thing to be able to do. So let me give you an anecdote, first of all, just to illustrate intervening playfully. It wasn't what this mom had in mind, but it was what happened. This is the mom, one of our instructors, and she has twin girls, and her twins are, I think, 6 at the time of this anecdote. And she's driving, and they are getting into a great big fight in the back seat. And they've had many big fights in the back seat. It happens often. It drives her nuts. And she's been working on this in listening partnership time so that she can offload her upsets around the way they squabble and fight and hurt one another in the back seat. And so this particular day, she just decided, I'm not going to keep driving. I am going to pull over. If they fight, I'm going to pull over, and I'm going to come and I'm going to stay listen to one of them. I don't know which one. And so the fight started. She, drove the car over to a safe place, stopped the car, and said, girls, I'm coming to help. Got out on her side, went around, and started opening the back door. And what happened was, the girls could feel her coming, and one of them, leapt into the front seat and giggled. And she caught the message, oh, there's laughter here. Why don't I go after that? And so rather than, heading for the back door, she went, hey, you got in the front seat. Oh, I guess I'll get you. And she kind of bustled up to the front door, and her daughter whizzed into the back seat again. And pretty soon they were both whizzing back and forth, and she was bumbling around on the outside of the car. She didn't really even have to get in, and just trying hard to get where one of them was. Oh, here I come, I'm going to help you, and trying to open the door, and the child would disappear, and they'd both be in the back seat giggling, and she'd go, okay, back seat. And she'd, bustle back to the back seat, and they both climb into the front seat and laugh and laugh and laugh. And she spent about 10 minutes going back and forth, playfully pretending to try to figure out which door to open in order to get in and help her daughters. But what was actually happening was that she was playing the less powerful role. They were laughing and laughing and laughing. They were getting more connected with her, and certainly more connected with one another, because there they are on the same side, fooling mommy, trying to keep mommy from coming in the car and being stern or setting limits or whatever they were expecting. So all of a sudden they are children who are full of laughter, who are enjoying the play, who who are really enjoying their mom, and their mom is really enjoying them. It's like this was a turn of events she didn't expect. She thought she was going to have to listen to somebody's long listening thing, long cry, and what was happening instead was laughter. So she, kept it going for 10 or 15 minutes and then said, okay guys, I think it's time for us to drive home. Are you ready? They hopped in the back seat, strapped on their seatbelts, and off they went. No more dispute in the car. This isn't giving in to children. It's not giving children what they want. It's not permissive, because if the children had gotten into further difficulty with one another, she would have opened the door and she would have separated them and she would have set limits there. But she didn't need to. It's like the tension was offloading in laughter. The girls were getting reconnected with one another. They were also getting connected with her. And connection is the issue. Connection is what you want. The laughter means that tension is leaving, and connection is much more possible. So you're not giving in, you're not being permissive, you're not rewarding children for bad behavior. What you're doing is getting to the root of the emotional reasons that bad behavior happens, and you're happening to relieve that bad behavior and the inability to think with laughter instead of tears or tantrums or the other ways that emotions release. So the ways that this mom thought about things was that when my children are in trouble with one another, they need me to get closer and warmer. And as she got closer and warmer, they happen to move into laughter. Sometimes as you get closer and warmer, your child will burst into tears. She was bringing a limit. I am not going to drive with you guys squabbling in the car. I'm going to stop and pay attention. If you're going to squabble, I'm going to pay attention. So that's kind of, people are searching for consequences. It's like, what are the consequences that I can issue for this behavior that nobody can stand? And in our view, the only consequence that really relieves behavior and improves it over time is you getting closer and warmer and paying attention and allowing whatever tension release is going to happen, allowing your child to laugh, cry, or tantrum, and staying there with them while they do that so that your presence can go in while their bad feelings can come out. She got closer and warmer. She got there as soon as she could. That's another really very important principle in setting limits is when your child begins to have a hint of a nasty behavior or a rotten attitude or they're getting fussy, they're getting whiny. When you get that little tiny whiff of off-track behavior, that's the time to come in with a playful response or with a limit. You get just a little bit of, I don't want to, that's the time to come in, not 5 minutes later when they've been whining for 10, until you can't think anymore. It's like your ability to think and your ability to be creative as you bring the limit, either playfully or seriously, is so much better if you act on the very first hint of trouble, if you don't wait for it all to mushroom out of control. So she got in as quickly as she could. She got that car off the road, she got out, and she went back to pay attention, and what burst forward was lots and lots of tension release in the form of laughter. And if laughter erupts as you move in to pay attention, promote it, go with it. This is just great. So I'll give you a couple of other examples of ways that you can set limits playfully so that children release the tensions that over and over again interfere with their relationship with their sibling. I was playing with two brothers in the sandbox one day, and one of them just kept pestering his little brother, kept grabbing his toys, kept, just interfering in the other child's play. Child would make a little castle and the child would smush it. And so things were not going well. So I picked up the aggressive child and I said, oh, you love your brother, you do. Let's go see him, okay? Let's go over close, here we go. Often when I'm working with children, I'll say the most positive thing that I can, oh, you love your brother, come here, you two people that I love, that kind of thing, where you're really showing that you have faith in who they really are and that you don't take this crusty behavior that they're showing you on the outside for their real intentions, their real self. So you love your brother, let's go see him, here we go. And so I'm innocently expecting him to be wonderful to his brother. Well, inside my head, that's what I say, inside my head I know, he's going to reach for that sand pail, he's going to try to grab it. So I just swooped him down, getting him close to his brother, and he reaches for the sand pail, and I go, no, you can't have that sand pail. He's playing with that sand pail. And he laugh and laugh and laugh. Then I say, oh, let's go see your brother again. Let's go give him some love. And I'd swoop him down next to his brother again, and just as something, aggressive was about to happen, wait a minute, that wasn't love, that was something else, And he'd laugh and laugh and laugh, and I'd shake him up and down a little bit, and say, oh, let's bring him some love, let's go see him again. And you can do this with a child who has impulsively aggressive behavior toward a sibling over and over and over again, getting laughter every time, because you're allowing them to show you, I have this impulse. You are not avoiding the problem of my kid has this impulse. He just wants to hurt somebody. He wants to hurt his little sister. He wants to hurt his little brother. So you're facing the problem. You're assuming it's there, and you're letting the child show you their impulse, but you're keeping them safe. So every time they hit out, you're, oh, wait a minute, there's that pesky hand again, Or, they're trying to kick, hey, give me those kicky feet. We don't want those kicky feet next to the baby, The nice kicky feet. Let's put him down right next to the baby. Oh, just like that. Whoa, wait a minute. There's those kicky feet again. Nice kicky feet. Let's tame the kicky feet. And a child can laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh, showing you the impulse to be aggressive, but knowing that you are watching out, you are keeping everything safe. And in general, the child who is kind of the sitting duck on the other end of the interaction usually will laugh and enjoy this too, because they can see that you're keeping them safe. They know that their sibling has this impulse. They've seen it many, many times, more times than you have. And they can hear the laughter and they can hear the relief in the interaction. So children, whether they're on the sort of the sitting duck end or whether they're on the aggressive end of you setting playful limits, feel deeply relieved in this kind of interaction. And after 5 or 10 minutes of play this way, the child with the kicky feet, you can say, okay, that's all the kicky feet game we can play right now. We're going to do it again. I need to nurse the baby. Are you ready for that? And your child can burst into tears because they're not ready for that. You can listen for 5 more minutes before you pick up the baby, Or they can go, yeah, I'm going to go ride my trike, and they can go off and do something else because their ability to think has been restored. They feel close to you, and they don't care if you nurse the baby. They got what they needed. They got a good dose of your approval and your attention in the play listening that you just did. So I think this tool is really going to help the spirit in your family rise. It's really going to help you feel like a successful and a genius parent. And it's really going to help your child feel like, wow, my dad is something else, or gee, I love my mom. These laughter episodes are very, very healing. So enjoy.